Hello, in this video we are going to take a look at the basics of CGI programming. So CGI stands for Common Gateway Interface, and it's basically for a standard that provides, an external gateway to interface with, servers such as HTTP servers. So what we can basically do, and what we're going to do in this example, is just whip up some code that allows us to run HTML code within a Python file. So you might be thinking, why would you want to do that? Python, is a great backend language. So you could, do all of the Python functionality, like conditional statements, loops, all of that stuff, and then pump out HTML to a web page. So a couple of prerequisites. One, make sure you've got access to some sort of server. I'm using a local server called XAMPP, and it is cross-platform. It works on Mac, Windows, and Linux, which is fantastic. So you're pretty much covered. So I would honestly just recommend XAMPP. You could also use, like an online server with one of your websites. That's fine as well. So I'll provide a link to XAMPP with the video, and the installation, etc. is actually pretty self-explanatory. If you have any issues, as usual, just feel free to reach out and I'll assist you. The other thing is your server may need configuration to execute CGI, and if that is the case and it doesn't work, by the end of the video, then I'll recommend just checking out one of the other links I provided, which is a YouTube video, not created by me, just created by another great YouTuber. And in that video, he goes through the process of setting up CGI on your server. And he does it on Ubuntu, but I can confirm that it works on Mac and Windows as well, so you should be all good. But again, if you have issues, just feel free to reach out and I'll assist you in getting it set up. So now that's the prerequisites out of the way, and we're not going to be doing it in the online ID for the CGI programming section of this series, because this is basically what we're going to be writing, and as you can see, it just doesn't print out what we want. It doesn't print out a web page because that's just a terminal. It's just a command line interface. So we got a local server whipped up and our htdocs right here. So in here, what I'm going to do is save this file first, so I can actually get the IntelliSense. So file.py. So the first line that we need to do with a CGI application is hash !usr/bin/python. So this is just essentially allowing you to access the Python directory. You could have this, in non-CGI programs, and it'll be fine, but you need it for CGI programs. Then it's all going to be print based mainly. Then we're going to have a content type, and this will essentially tell browser that it is of type HTML, so render it as HTML. Another thing you're going to need is \r, \n, \r, \n. These are end of line characters, so this is an end of line, this is an end of line, and I've seen some tutorials where they actually have omitted this, but honestly it didn't work for me, and most tutorials I find actually have \r and \n, at least one of them, but the recommended amount is 2 for end of line. So if it doesn't work for you, have a look, make sure you've got this in there, because this did trump me up a bit when I didn't have it. Next, we're just going to essentially form a HTML page, but using print. So we're going to put print HTML. And as usual, I like to close all tags as soon as I open them. Obviously, it doesn't have any IntelliSense to be able to do that. It's always, I find a good practice to do. And you might think, why are we doing it in all separate ones instead of in the one? And I'll explain in a moment why that is the case. So we've got a head tag. In there, we can put meta tags. We're just going to keep it simple and put a put a title, which will just be the title of our web page. So title, and again, you might think, why are we doing this one in one line where the others aren't? Again, once I've wrote all of the code, I will explain all of it. So my first CGI app, and now outside of the head, we are going to put our body. So print body Again, let's just close off the body before we forget. And now in here we're going to do print, and we're just going to put like a header tag. We'll put H3, and we'll just say, again, let's close off. This is HTML body section. Fantastic. So we got that saved. Before we run it, let me just explain why some of the tags are on separate lines, the closing and ending tag, and some are on the same line. So we got HTML, we got this HTML, so opening, closing, and the reason they're on separate lines is because there's going to be quite a bit of code in between, and we're going to be adding to that code. So having it all on one line isn't very practical. Same with the head, same with the body. Whereas with the title, we're probably not going to make it more complex than that. Same with the H3, probably not going to make it more complex than that. If we had a div and there was, a bunch of other tags inside of it, and they had tags, and then they had like attributes and whatnot, then you would want to separate it out a bit more. So you can sort of see it as a logical structure that you would have in HTML if you wrote HTML before. So now that we saved that, let's run it. So file.py, okay, we get a server request error. So let's have a look. What's wrong? First of all, make sure all the code is correct. Content type text HTML. Okay, let me just check the first tag. USR correct, /bin/python. That looks, honestly all good to me. And there may be an issue with the actual rights. So let me try this. I found that this sometimes happens. So if I do chmod, I'm going to change the rights to, I'm going to do 755. There we go. Okay, if you get that problem, just change the rights to 755 for reading, writing, and execution. So here we go. As you can see, it's shown this. You might be thinking, where's the rest of it? Remember, this isn't printed. We got the My First CGI app up here. This obviously just tells the web page, Python, that it's a HTML page, and this is all that's going to display. If we were to inspect it and go to head, we have the title. You might be thinking we didn't write shadow root. That's something automatically generated by the web browser. Again, some of this is just automatically generated by the web browser, including this as well. But we got our H3 as we put in our Python code. So honestly, that's it for the basic CGI, app. We'll be covering CGI a bit more in depth in the following videos. Thanks for watching. And like I said, because this can be quite a heavy topic just to get going, just to get started, feel free to message me and I will help you out. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.